Welcome to the YouTube video. If you would like to drop a comment and tell us how absolutely horrible we are at this podcasting, how we should probably just give it up, you can also subscribe to the video as well. The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions. Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all. The Roaring Peacock Podcast. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock main cast. Coming up in the show, we've got Ben from Apollo Junction, and we'll be talking about Brighton transfers and Newcastle. Are we talking about anything else, boys?
I don't think so. We have quite a week, and there's no game this week.
Yeah, not a lot going on.
But first, Ryan Edmondson returned on loan from Scottish Premier League and made a big step up to League One Northampton Town. only kidding, Scottish listeners. The SPL's not that bad. While Robbie Gotts joined Diet Scum, Salford. We've never been believers, but when we heard this, we're praying for his soul. If the return of Ben White felt hollow without fans, things only got worse as Leeds sleptwalked through another game on this bad run of form. Sleepwalking is not advisable at the best of times, but certainly not on a muddy bog. The 25-year-old pitch beggars belief. We beggars can't be choosers, but surely there's another pitch somewhere close by, like on a hill near the ground, for example, like Beggars Hill, on the hill near the ground. But we had to wonder if Richard Keys was talking about Leeds United or his penis when he said, how can they be so good one week and a limp, embarrassing version of themselves the next? Nevertheless, Keys stumbled on his blundering, buffoonish excuse for journalism by defending Karen Carney. Misogyny is a difficult trait to hide, however, as he uttered the phrase, what she really meant was that... Ironically, his dirge of a diatribe came to an end with him prophesizing the sacking of Bielsa after he'd earlier accused him of engineering a language barrier. Oh, Richard, but you do make English look so difficult. And for the record, 10th to 14th would be great. We've only just been promoted, after all. Meanwhile, Rads liked a tweet which tagged him and Rodrigo de Paul, suggesting the Union Daisy midfielder should be on a plane before Newcastle. With this, and de Paul's suggestive tweet at the start of January, we put 2 and 2 together. But unfortunately, it still doesn't add up to 40 million. Speaking of midfielders, Ronaldo Vieira's weighed in by donating PS4s to Leeds Women's Aid. It's not quite Ozil funding Gunnosaurus to try and stay at the club, but it's a great gesture. Would you take him back? Answer in the comments or on Twitter. Whoa! Ronaldo Vieira, oh! He's no longer with us, whoa! He's giving PS4s away.
He's not earning enough for PS5s.
No, he's not. That's the intimation, isn't it? If only I was on Premier League wages, these kids would be getting PS5s. And the under-23s are top of their league thanks to a youthful Diego Llorente winner. Let's hope he can make the step up to senior football soon. And you can check out our under-23s pod for more on them. And in non-Leeds related news, 2021 is proving to be the sequel we didn't need and the sequel we didn't want. As news of Brazil's COVID strain's resistance to antibodies locks us in our houses for the rest of eternity. Still, with Storm Christoph coming to lighten things up with heavy rain and flooding that, quote, could pose a danger to life, maybe staying inside for a bit longer might be for the best. With any luck, it'll wash away a few anti-vaxxers out to sea. They're probably out there protesting against the fake storm. And speaking of staying inside for a bit, Donald Trump seems to get set to pardon everyone, including rapper Lil Wayne, but himself. Who knows if a preemptive pardon would have kept him out of jail. What would have been nice, though? Some decent world leaders during a global pandemic. One of Gwyneth Paltrow's "This Smells Like My Vagina" candles has exploded. And a dog owner who was on crutches spent £300 at the vet's, only to discover his dog was imitating his own limp out of sympathy.
That was so good.
Yeah.
And finally, a donkey-faced car crash enthusiast, Richard Keogh, has limped his way to Huddersfield, leaving dogs throughout the city too terrified to sleep. We predict the affectionately named Murderball will become all too accurate a name by this Wednesday. So that was the week. My name's Adonis, and it's a very good hello from me. And joining us to discuss all this and more is our mate Cookie.
Hello.
And our man on the post, Mr. Ross Bell.
How do?
Well, how was your week then?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I gained some, I had some actual employment. It looks like Inter have signed DePaul, so ups and downs.
Cookie?
It's been all right, mate. Been focusing on the under-23s, of course, and they have had a good weekend. Still at the top and doing well. Charlie Creswell looking really, really good. Aside from that, work is hectic, and I have a headache. But I'm alive.
Nice. So, Cookie, you weren't here for the match review. What did you think to the Brighton game?
Do you want to start this off that depressing?
The only way's up from there.
The only way is up.
I thought you saw everything we missed. Jesus Christ. I thought you saw everything we missed in Ben White, which is why I think people still want him back even to this day. We didn't look like the team who'd had a bit of a rest, did we, in comparison to Brighton? It was just all round pretty awful, pretty depressing. Too many players that are underperforming. How do you fix it? I'm not sure. It reminds me a lot of that run where Ayling did that really depressed interview. And my only hope is that after that depressed interview, we picked things up, and this team has shown resilience before to come back. But yeah, it didn't look good, did it?
That was this time a year ago, so yeah, we're almost on the exact course for that.
What's the solution, Ross?
Rodrigo de Paul. I don't know. I won't be able to just get into them, like fucking bollock them, because that Brighton I'm still fuming about that Brighton performance. We were so bad everywhere on the field. Like Liam Cooper is probably our best player because he didn't do anything wrong. The rest of them, I thought they were just terrible everywhere. He goes the other way, doesn't he? He praises them and shows them how good they can be when they've been terrible. But no, just get into them.
Yeah, it's the peaks and troughs you get with Bielsa, though, isn't it? It's like what you've got to accept with him is you can turn a player like Bamford from people saying he would never be anything into a player that scores goals in the Premiership because of that never-ending belief. And then you've got that endless loyalty that some players, I think, inevitably will take advantage of, and whether you like it or not, will end up not trying as hard as they should do, knowing they probably won't get dropped. And it's a really difficult balancing act, isn't it? I mean, I would just hope that some of them are either a bit tired or what or not. But I mean, that's the worst performance, I think, barring Crawley, which I'm putting down to a lot of changes and just the fact we were shit. I don't even blame the pitch because it didn't affect Brighton and they play a similar way to us. Yeah. It just was the worst performance I've seen under Bielsa, the worst attacking in particular. And yeah, it says a lot when your best players on the pitch were probably Jack Harrison just for the amount of effort, even though it didn't really go anywhere. And Liam Cooper just for not doing a lot wrong. But in saying that, I still thought he could have done more when their goal happened, and he's meant to marshal that defence. So, yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I don't know how we fix it at the moment without signings, and feels like Bielsa's way is to not make signings. So we have to accept where we are.
Well, a year ago this week, we just lost 2-0 to Gary Monk, Sheffield Wednesday, and then we lost 1-0 to QPR with Calvin getting sent off and us missing a penalty. So, I mean, it's all relative, isn't it? We're in the Premier League, we're safe, and it mattered more last year. Losing 1-0 to QPR, I was apoplectic with that. We should have beaten them. And then we were on that little run. We lost to Wigan, lost to Forest and Brentford. And that was around the time that Ayling had his speech. It shouldn't need that this year. These players should be so motivated to just stay in this division that it shouldn't have to come to that again this year. I mean, we do 12th.
Also have to accept, though, mate, that the opposition, as much as I don't like Brighton because I think they're dull, is a higher standard. And I think the worst performance just so happened to be without Calvin, which it tends to be. We tend to be poorer without him. And the good news, I think, is that, and I know we're going to touch on it, but our next game is Newcastle. And if you can't beat Newcastle, you don't belong in this league because they are dog shit. And I know that we are the kind of team that loves to end a losing run for another side. But it really does feel like that's the perfect team you'd want to play after something that shit.
They haven't won for 9 games, so yeah, it's bound to be us.
Here is my solution. Okay. We've got a little bit of a break now, and this is my solution. Okay. Meslier in goal. Right back, Luke Ayling.
Yep, a right back at right back, are we good?
Centre back, Llorente. Centre back, Cooper. Left back, Dallas. And defensive midfielder, Phillips. And I think if we have that base again, and if we can go on a run of, say, 5-10 games, I don't think that's much to ask, of the same players, just that consistency at the back, I think we'll build chemistry. I think we'll have a solid foundation to build attacks upon, and I think we'll concede far less goals.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is that we're almost at the halfway point. We only need 4 more wins in reality to be in a position where we're very strong to stay up. And it is weird, isn't it? I've seen a few articles on it recently, but this level of expectation on us, and yeah, we put it on our own team, but the weird thing is the people in the media have this expectation of us to be this team who fly up the league. At the end of the day, we've just come up. Most of these players are still championship players, outperforming their own capability due to an outstanding coach, and we're 12th. I mean, if we end up 15th, I'll be fucking buzzing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd rather we finish 12th. That'd be great. I'd rather we finished 8th. But if we finish anything above 17th, I'm fucking happy. Because then we get a load more money to spend on the quality we clearly don't have, which we clearly don't have strength in depth, and Rodrigo very much is a concern. But I do wonder whether he's still struggling somewhat since COVID. I don't think that's a coincidence, and
No.
we need more quality.
It's ridiculous, these pundits, because they're talking about. I mean, we touched on it in the monologue about Keys saying that 10th isn't good enough for Leeds, 10th to 14th or whatever. But that's bollocks, isn't it? I mean, that's pure and utter bullshit.
I don't think any Leeds fan thinks that at all, does it?
17th is good enough for Leeds this year.
And if we were 7th, or if we were 5th, okay, and that's possible if a few of the results had gone our way, and if there wasn't a ridiculous fucking handball rule at the start of the season, they'd all, if we were 5th or 7th or whatever, just somewhere in challenging for Europe, they'd be saying, oh, the wheels are going to come off. Yep. Oh, they can't keep it going, and we're 12th, which is fucking fantastic for a newly promoted team. And he's saying, oh, he's never going to get higher than 10th. Oh, they've got to get rid of Bielsa. It's all just bollocks, isn't it? It doesn't matter where it would be. They'd still be the same fucking idiots with the same stupid dickhead opinions.
But they're not talking about it because they think it's a genuine opinion. They're not talking about it because they think football fanatics who are into the tactics are going to go, oh yeah, this Leeds team need a rethink. They're baiting us. They want Leeds fans to come in and like we are right now, so we're giving them what they want and react to what everyone knows is complete bullshit. He said it and he knows it's complete bullshit. It's like, I think the difficult part is that, and what feels like gets this massive reaction, is what we lack this year, or what feels like we lack this year, is balance. So obviously last year we were great going forward, but more than anything else we were superb defensively. But that just shows you everything the Premiership is, which is that there are so many times last year where I thought we could have been hammered if they'd have taken them chances. And in the Premier League, they take them chances.
We've conceded 34. West Brom have conceded 42 in 19. And West Brom and Fulham have got as many points combined as we have. The media aren't even talking about Fulham and West Brom. Is it just because we are Leeds?
Yeah, West Brom are Brexit, though, aren't they? They'll have Big Sam bringing them back up, no problem.
Yeah, but I've not seen Fulham mentioned at all anywhere. They're in the bottom 3. Why aren't they getting the same amount of media coverage as we are? It's just because we're Leeds United.
Yeah, there's one reason and one reason only, isn't it? Because we are Leeds, and whether people like it or not, whether people deny it or not, we're a fucking big club. So
Fulham and West Brom are both managed by good old English boys, aren't they? As well.
Yeah.
It's exactly what Cookie's saying. It drives up engagement.
Yeah.
You know, that's all. If they say it, if they mention Leeds, if they mention Bielsa, if they say Bielsa burnout, if they pay some fucking numpty in the West Country to phone up and pretend to be a Leeds fan and say, "Oh, it's time for Bielsa to go" or whatever, they know that equals money.
They're never from Leeds, are they? They're never from Leeds, and they never have a
They've never got a Leeds accent.
They never have a clue who even plays in the team. They just chat absolute shit.
But I don't mind. I've looked at the analytics of our podcast, for example, and we're not a big podcast by any means, but we've got people from all over, and they haven't just tuned in once; they tune in every week. So, hello to all of you fellow listeners. But
God, I hope they're in Norway. I fucking love Norway.
There are some in Norway.
Yes.
So shout out to all the Norway fans. I met a Norway fan here in Vienna, actually. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. What I'm saying is there are genuine Leeds fans who don't have Leeds accents from all over the world. But these people who fucking call in TalkSport, I'm genuinely not
Scousers and Manx.
No.
They've never got a Leeds accent, and they've never been able to convince anybody with a Leeds accent to call in and say this shit.
There's very few people on there with a valid opinion, though, isn't there? I mean, that twat from Villa, I mean, the reason he baits us all the time, and I won't even give him the joy of mentioning his name, he does it because he's had more interest or more interaction with our fans than he ever has his own, who all thought he was shit apart from maybe 1 or 2 seasons. He just loves the attention. They can all fuck off for me.
Yeah.
I've just written down the starting lineup if it's a strongest, and I've got a big old gap in the middle of that pitch. So, like you say, Johnny, that back 5 with Calvin making that 6, that's the strongest. Probably maybe Cock for Cooper, Rafinha and Harrison on the wings, and then Bamford up front. What do you do is a big hole in the middle of the field where 2 other players need to go. What do you do there? Because Click looks like he can't pass the football to anyone at the minute, and Rodrigo's not a 10.
Click and Rodrigo doesn't work, and it makes me ask the question at the moment: did Bielsa sign him as a 10, Rodrigo, or did he sign him as a 9? But Bamford's form has forced him to move him to 10. I really don't know. If he is going to convert him to a 10, is it likely that he has second season syndrome under Bielsa, which is always a big improvement? Possibly. He hasn't had a full pre-season, has he? So I don't know. But you're right, mate. We probably need. There's too much pressure on Rodrigo in that role at the moment, and on Klitsch, because when Rodrigo isn't performing, it's all on Klitsch, and he tries hard, and it feels like he's overthinking everything at the moment, and nothing's working. I mean, his shooting. I mean, that chant for him, if it was still around, it's so ironic now, isn't it? Because he can't score from fucking anywhere since the Liverpool game, was that the last time he scored? And that was a great goal.
You've had 2 seasons under Bielsa where the most passes in the games has been Click to Hernandez and Hernandez to Click. They're the 2 exchanges with the most passes anyway in midfield, and the most progressive ones.
I actually feel like it
some
might be
shit like that. You can look
Pablo.
at the fucking stats yourself. But when you take away his mate, you know, it's like KP was saying it in an interview before the start of the season. What do you do when you get the ball? Like, do you ever get nervous because you often get the ball in dangerous situations, in tight corners where you've got a few men on you, and you're back to the opposition goal or whatever, and KP's like, I look for when I've got the ball and I'm moving forward, I look for Pablo.
I think he needs to get back in the team.
We've taken Pablo out and we've put in Rodrigo. And this is exactly why Bielsa doesn't trust in just buying players, because they don't know the system. It takes time for them to work it out. It takes time for them to get up to speed and fitness. And Rodrigo, don't get me wrong, he's got bags of potential, but he's not showing it, and we need it now. Yeah. We need a few more results. It's not that we want all of the Christmas presents on Christmas Eve. That's not. I think we'll stay up, but until we are mathematically safe, I will not be able to live properly. It's hard enough watching a Leeds game already. We just need to get to 40 points. You know, just get Pablo in there, take him off if he's fucked after 60, and bring Rodrigo on then. You know, but we need to get. I think we need to get.
It don't feel likely though.
No,
it don't feel likely. It seems more likely that if anything, he might put Tyler into that role again. That seems to be where he's going to at the moment. And Tyler did a good job off the bench. And you know my feelings on him. I'm not sure whether he's capable. He seems to have gone from being a cert to go out on loan, can't even get in the squad, to he's now that next in line for the number 10, which probably tells you the confidence Bielsa's got in his own squad at the moment. But I don't know what's the situation with Pablo and why Pablo's not getting a start, because I don't think there's any justification right now for Rodrigo to be starting. I think he needs a rest and some time to work out what his next steps are. I still think he'd be good for the club and he uses class, but he's just struggling, isn't he? Needs a bit of respite.
Maybe Shackleton could come in for Clicky. Maybe we could try that. And I agree that there's definitely two Tyler Roberts, isn't there? There's the Tyler Roberts that we know and love, who played against West Brom that time when we won 4-0, and who played against Hull that time when I think we won 4-0 as well. So maybe that's the solution. We just need to win 4-0, and Tyler's going to play really well.
Yeah.
And there's the other Tyler Roberts who can kind of ghost around and be a little bit anonymous and not really get into the game.
It feels inevitably like these changes won't come, though. I mean, how many times do you reckon over the last 2 years since we've had Bielsa that you've been saying to yourself, he needs to make this change, he needs to make this change, this isn't working, that isn't working, and then the next game we win 3-0 with the exact same lineup and Bielsa may as well give you two fingers.
Yeah.
Bielsa's there on his bucket like...
There was only ever one position, and that was the keeper, and he got forced into that in the end, and thankfully it worked.
Yeah. This is what I was saying at the start. Like, these are the ups and downs of his relentless loyalty.
Yeah.
You'd love to be friends with him.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe I'll do the top 10 now because we've got the guest coming on in a bit. So this is the top 10 stupidest football quotes, and I've found them from howtheyplay.com.
Are you sure you haven't gone back through Roaring Peacock podcasts?
So, yeah, these are handpicked from 50. So, brace yourself for this.
Ready.
At 10, from Bobby Robson, the first 90 minutes of a football match are the most important. At 9, geography connoisseur Mark Draper said, I'd like to play for an Italian club like Barcelona. At 8, from Leeds' own Mark Viduka, I wouldn't be bothered if we lost every game. Oh, I should do this in an Australian accent, shouldn't I? Wouldn't be bothered if we lost every game, as long as we won the league. At 7, this beauty comes from Ian Rush. He's got a Liverpool accent.
He's Welsh, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is he Welsh? Fucking...
Matt, I've had a Scouse accent after how long you were there.
I couldn't settle in it.
What is that accent?
I couldn't settle in Italy. It was like living in a foreign country.
He's not Indian, Donny. You're racist.
That was definitely fucking Indian.
Just put a Leeds accent on. He played for Leeds for a season. He must have picked it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
At 6, from the always hard-hitting Stan Collymore, Matty Jarvis had acres of time there.
Acres of time.
That's standard measurement of time, of course.
5 comes from an endless fountain of stupidity, Ron Atkinson. I never comment on referees, and I'm not going to break the habit of a lifetime for that prat.
I mean, I quite like that one, though.
One of the better things
Number 4, from the fan of construction of buildings and sentences, Mark Noble, not to win is guttering.
Guttering.
At 3, from mathematician Gary Birtles, they were numerically outnumbered.
As opposed to phonetically.
At 2, from vegetable fan and man having a near vegetable experience, Stuart Pearce. I can see the carrot at the end of the tunnel.
What the fuck? Is there context to that?
No. And the number 1, stupidest football quote from howtheyplay.com's top 50 stupid football quotes comes from John Motson. For those of you watching in black and white, Spurs are in the all-yellow strip.
That's so good. The only thing I will say is, how the fuck is Michael Owen not on there?
What did he say?
Oh, what hadn't he said?
Oh,
Stupid quotes from Michael Owen. Jesus Christ, I'll Google it if you want.
I thought you were... We'll save that. I'll tell you what, we'll do Michael Owen's top 10 stupid quotes.
Definitely a top 10
next week.
Yeah.
It'll be tough to narrow down, I'm guessing, by your response.
I always like Glenn Hoddle when he said that when a player gets to 30, so does his body. Cheers, Glenn.
Wow.
Insight there.
There were plenty of others that just didn't make it.
Can I give you one from Michael Owen?
Yeah, okay.
That's a fantastic penalty, but he'll be gutted it went wide.
So, Newcastle then. Terrible, aren't they? We have to win this game.
Yeah, I watched them play Arsenal last night, and they are shit. Absolutely shit. They started with 4 strikers. Well, I say 4 strikers. 3 of them were Andy Carroll, Almiron, and Joe Linton, who I think have got about 3 goals between them this season. Callum Wilson looked dangerous, but Arsenal just picked them apart by just running at them and just quick, simple passing, which is exactly what we can do. I just hope we do it again like we did to them last time.
Yeah, if we don't, I'm not going to say we're in trouble if we don't beat Newcastle, but I will be legitimately worried if we can't do enough to beat Newcastle, because at the moment, I mean, unless they make some big signings in January, they look so set for relegation, don't they? I mean, I went on the podcast Gallowgate Shots before the previous game, and he thought they were shit then, did Matty, who was on it, and they were nowhere near as bad as they are now. I mean, Callum Wilson looks like the only thing they've got going for them. Yeah. And the only worry I've got, and it was the same worry I had last time, because we did concede 2 against a team like Newcastle who can't fucking score, is that you will give them chances and Callum Wilson will put them away. He is a good striker. But you have to beat this team. You have to. I genuinely think we will as well.
Yeah, we had the guy from True Faith. Without looking at it, I can't remember his name, and it's not a personal thing. It's to him. It's me. It's not you, mate. It's me. And it's partly because we've done too many match previews now with too many different people. Yeah, but I remember him saying that he couldn't believe how they'd won and drawn so many games. Like, they just shithoused it somehow. They just got extremely lucky somehow.
Mate, at the start of the season when they got to mid-table, you just couldn't understand it.
And it seems like that luck has run out.
Yeah.
4 losses in the last 5. Starting to look bad from them. They've also conceded 30 goals or more, so 30 goals, but they've only scored 18.
I can't think of a more, genuinely, I cannot think of a more depressing manager to be in charge of your football team.
No, my mate Dave's a Newcastle fan, and he absolutely hates Steve Bruce.
I've got a few as well. If he were in charge of Leeds, I might just murder him.
It'd be 4-4-2, big lad and a quick lad up front. Yeah, it would be awful. His name was Mickey from the True Faith.
Mickey, that's right, Mickey from True Faith.
It's a shame because they deserve better. Like, I'm always a big fan of one club cities with big followings like ours. And they do deserve better. It's just, I mean, they've got the shittest manager with the world's shittest owner. You know, dreadful, innit? Won't swap players.
So nice seems to be as good a time as any to ask you to maybe make some suggestions in the comments for what you would like to see in this podcast. If you have any creative inventions that we can steal and use for ourselves, for our own personal gain, and that would be great as well.
How random do you want these suggestions to be, Donny? I'd like to see you do the entire podcast whilst maintaining a hula hoop.
Okay.
That's my request.
Given that I can't do a hoop,
You
I
better
can't
fucking
spin a hoop
practice then, aren't you?
round my waist for more than about 5 seconds.
It's going to be a very short podcast.
Yeah.
Seems to me like you just need to practice, mate.
I don't think I'm going to do that. That's the kind of suggestions we don't need. So thanks, Cookie, for that.
I'm here to set the examples of what you don't want, mate. That's why you invited me on, right?
All the transfers seem to be about that guy from Fiorentina.
Eric Pulgar.
Eric Pulgar, yeah.
Do we know anything about him?
There's 2 different reports. One saying we're going to sign him for 22 million and one saying we're going to loan him. He's like a click, but better from his stats by the sounds of it.
I saw Josh Hobbs say he's not the type of midfielder we need.
Got 9 yellow cards. 9 yellows last season, 7 goals, 6 assists, 88% pass completion, and an average of 2 successful tackles per game.
Is he a attacking midfielder or a defensive?
I think he's a midfielder, which is what we need.
He's a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
That's why I don't trust those like pass completion stats, because when they get in a triangle and pass it between the centre backs, that significantly increases
boost those numbers up. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we just pass it a few more times? I need to get my stats up. Okay.
I'll take him. He's got a tattoo right across there and all the way around there. Yeah, you can join our collection of shit tattoos in this team. So.
Who else has got shit tattoos?
I'm not one to speak. I've got a collection of awful tattoos, but Calvin's are awful, and Liam Cooper's sleeve looks really shit. Dallas's one's getting bigger and worse every time I see him on his forearm.
You know they can't get rid of these. I mean, they could have laser surgery, I suppose, but for fucking hell.
I can't. I'm stuck with these. I can't afford that.
Well, thankfully, I have 0 tattoos.
Yeah.
I have
I think it was
big Jap thing on my arm.
One of the better decisions.
Onto my boob.
Very nice. So, any other interesting news that we saw? We saw the smell my vagina candle. Saw that blow up. So that dog limping around.
Is this Vieira stuff just about?
Anything catch your eye this week?
Is this Vieira story just about him giving away PS4s? Is there no transfer rumours or anything?
That was Ronaldo, wasn't it? I hadn't seen transfer rumours, but there was an interesting. I've actually just unsubscribed for next time it comes up, but I quite enjoyed the article Phil just put up about Romario Vieira and his essentially inferiority complex about his brother.
Yeah.
And how I didn't even realise he's at Tadcaster Albion after being unsigned for 2 years. But he really fucking hated Jason Blunt. Said that Jason Blunt basically just treated him as he was only there because of his brother. And then he kind of lost me at the point where he was playing an under-23s game. I think it was against Doncaster. And he said he'd asked not to play, got played anyway, played shit, walked off at half-time and just left the stadium. And I'm like, well, you've made yourself sound like a bit of a cunt there. Like, even if Jason Blunt's a dick, that's not what you expect. So maybe that's why you've not made it and why your brother's a bit different to you. But it was an interesting perspective, and he still thinks he's going to make it, which I guess is a good mentality to have.
How's Ronaldo Vieira these days?
He's at Sampdoria, isn't he, I think?
No,
is he playing regularly?
I thought he left Sampdoria, didn't he, to go to, what's that really strange Italian name team called?
Let's have a look. Hellas Veronis. He's played 2 games this season on loan. He played 41 games for Sampdoria, so he seems to be doing okay. He's only 22 as well, so he's still got a chance to kind of get back to the big time.
It's weird how they've loaned him out after he played so many games, particularly when you look at, I think, when I last looked at it, I'm not sure if it's still the same, but the Serie A table, I'm pretty sure that Hellas Verona were higher up in the league as well, which seemed like a bit of an odd one. Oh no, they're 9th and Sampdoria are 10th, so very similar, but it seems like an odd loan.
It's a very Italian move, isn't it?
Very.
They do this a lot. It's weird.
I mean, we talk a lot about players coming back, don't we? There's not many players I would take back. I think the only one for me right now would probably be Lewis Cook.
In a heartbeat.
Still think it's unbelievable Lewis Cook, and he'd be brilliant in our midfield right now, controlling things, I think.
Villa are looking for somebody as well. Looking at someone, Samson, someone like that, and they're in talks to sign him for 15 million, I think. Another central midfielder, which, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's our budget, I think, isn't it? 15 million?
Yeah, not much more than that, I wouldn't have
We
thought.
just won't sign anyone. I can't see us signing anybody at all.
Okay, so we're now joined by Ben Hope from the band Apollo Junction. Big
Hello.
Leeds fans. And indie, would you call yourself indie rock, or how do you term yourself?
Yeah, I would. We started out a bit electro, but the last album, our first album,
Yeah.
quite indie electro, but we're going more like indie rock sort of way. Yeah, we like to call it. Steve Lamacq called it New Britpop.
Ooh,
Okay,
nice.
That's got a good ring to it. That's a nice bit of branding there.
It has, actually. I like it. Yeah, I like it.
So
yeah, I'm all over that.
It must be difficult at the moment being musicians. Like, how's that going for you? What are you meeting up on Zoom? Are you practicing? Are you recording new things? What's happening?
We are, yeah. We're meeting up regularly. A lot of us have got writing facilities at home when we can transfer stuff to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the same, man. It's especially like when you want to rock out, you know, it's just we're all writing individually, so we've got more songs now in the tank. But yeah, recording's a bit of an issue because we can only get in a studio and then you book a date and then you can't go in, and then you book a date and you can't go in, and then. But luckily, before lockdown, we had about 5 or 6 songs ready to go, so we've just pinged them out.
Nice.
It's got to be tough because, like, when you're in a band, it's very much like being in a sports team, like being in a football team when you're all together having a laugh and being creative, and not being able to do that all together must be quite difficult. I know that's one of the things I used to love. It's just the banter and being together and making music and messing about.
We still have a bit of banter, you know, yeah, but it's not as good as like when you sat on a tour bus, you know, and you're just cracking out banter all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after about 2 or 3 days, you're like, right, I've had enough of these lads now. You know? I even want that feeling back.
Yeah.
Like, what's your craziest, you know, drug-fueled rock and roll story you can tell us?
I'll probably tell you over a pint.
Yeah,
but
not to podcast, not on a podcast,
not to YouTube. No, sure.
I don't know, man.
Not to 500 people.
I mean, this is just making me more intrigued because it's sounding shadier by the second. With the fact of, can this actually go out to the public?
This is
well,
the shit
kind of like that.
These are the best stories, though, aren't they? Come on,
yeah,
Ben. Tell us a story. Come on.
Good. We're not as rock and roll as you think, but you know, rock and roll things there have been instances where you're like,
There can be simple stuff, mate. When I were in a band, I drank 14 cans of Carling before going on stage, 2 litres of vodka, and fell into a drum kit. That was fun.
Oh, we've done that. Yeah, we've done that loads. In fact, this isn't a hardcore rock and roll story, but we once had a few beers before we went on stage when we were starting out, and they didn't tell us they had this like absolutely mental, insane smoke machine, the venue. So we were just started like rocking out, and then Matt gets to his solo. Our guitarist Matt gets to his solo, just like going, "Come on!" He looks at me, he goes, "Come on." He starts rocking out, and then this smoke machine, and then he turns around and just thinks that his amp's on fire because it was right behind the drummer. So the smoke, and he just went, "Stop the show! Bolt! Stop the show!"
He rocked too hard.
Fire. Oh man, God! We were just all on the floor laughing at him. Like,
he thought he rocked so hard.
Yeah,
he set his amp on fire.
Yeah, and I just. No sympathy from me. I just rolled on the floor laughing on stage, just saying, "Gordon Bennett, you actually thought your amp was on fire."
Nice.
But alcohol can do funny things to people.
So, long-time Leeds fans then, from Leeds. How did you celebrate promotion?
well, I just ordered this massive Chinese takeaway. I was dead excited for it. Yeah. And I was watching Huddersfield West Brom game, and well, Huddersfield scored, you know. Well, it was a draw, wasn't it? Eh? So I said, "Oh God, if this day's a draw, you know, I'm off. I'll openly put my hands up. I'm off to Ellen Road." And when I was just about to bite into my salt and pepper chicken balls, and then Huddersfield scored. They scored the winner, and I said, "That's it. This is going to go cold. I'm done.
This is tomorrow's breakfast."
I went straight to Ellen Road that night, and what a night it was. I mean, you know, and there were loads of like all my old schoolmates there I'd not seen in years, and I brought my son as well. He's 5, and I just, you know, I mean, I didn't get in thick of it or anything because we were in a pandemic, but I brought my son who's 5, and I just wanted him just to be there, just to see it.
Yeah.
He was a bit freaked out.
I bet that's a way to get him involved in football, isn't it? I bet he will loving it.
Yeah. Oh, it was though. Yeah, he remembers it like crazy, you know. And but what a moment when we didn't realise the players were in the east stand, and when they all looked out window and everyone ran out. Oh, that was just euphoric. That it really was. So that's how I celebrate.
I'm really fucking jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I didn't go down the night they lifted the league trophy, but I'm still angry about that. But,
Not many of us.
Which is just typical Leeds, though, isn't it? It's typical Leeds just to get promoted and you can't see it. But I think they will have a bus parade. I mean, I should hope they do, even if you get like Rodrigo lifting championship trophy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you know.
I drove past that road a few weeks after they've been handed the trophy, and the trophy was just sat on a windowsill, just like on one of the. You can see it from the road. You see it from McDonald's.
Oh, wow.
It just sat there in a window. It's like, oh, that's pretty risky leaving that there, maybe.
Yeah, might get robbed.
How do you think the season's gone so far, Ben?
I'm delighted with it. I am. I mean, beggars can't be choosers, you know. You can't be too greedy. Obviously, we're a bit poor. We've been a bit poor lately, and the fact I'm saying that is odd. But yeah, but it's been a great season. You know, Bamford's been the surprise player for me. You know, they all have. They've all been great. But I'm delighted. I mean, it was Roy Keane, wasn't it, a pundit who said, just look where the other 2 championship clubs are in the league. So, yeah, you know, I'm delighted with it. And I think we'll get, I don't know, I don't think we'll go down. No. I've said it. But no, I really don't. I mean, you look at Sheffield United, and I'm still thinking Brighton could go down. I know I'm bitter, like, but
we all are, don't we?
You know. Yeah. I just hope I know they've had issues with the pitch, haven't they? Made them, but I can't believe that's an excuse, really. But with the Bielsa, with the way Bielsa plays, it's very fast paced in it, and the ball stays on the floor, so it's affecting the performance definitely. But
yeah, we've got to hope we do better in away games, don't we, where we're actually on decent pitches.
Yeah, I know.
Ben, if the pandemic was over tomorrow, where would Apollo Junction be playing? Is there a haunt in Leeds that you play at?
Yeah. There was like a new venue that opened recently. Well, a while ago now, called the Warehouse. It's near Leeds Town Hall. I think it's about 600 capacity, and we're on the verge of selling it out.
It used to be a nightclub, didn't it? Warehouse.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So that's sort of come back. We're on the verge of selling that out, and then we had to delay it. So some tickets got refunded, and then we've had to delay it now all the way till November.
You're just building up the excitement, though, mate. Have more and more people.
But yeah. Oh, that'll sell out, and then we were going to do a couple of dates with Kaiser Chiefs, which we've still got. That's at Peace Hall in Halifax, but they've been rescheduled, I think, till July. And we were going to do a gig with Madness, which got completely raw.
That would have been so good. Suggs, what a guy!
Oh no, I'm gutted about that. Like.
So you've got a new album coming out, is that right? You got a new single coming out?
Yeah, we've got a single coming out on the 22nd called On the Ropes.
Okay.
And we put a single out recently called Borderlines, which has done really well.
Okay.
So that's what I was saying earlier. We keep on churning out singles.
Are we allowed to play the new single on the pod?
On the Ropes? It should be okay. I think I'd have to. I'm going to sound so. I've never ever said this. I'll have to check with the manager. Yeah, because he's got this plan in place. So what gets played to. So I think that should be all right.
Yeah,
I think.
Well,
I've never said that before.
We'll either have. We can play Borderlands, I'm guessing.
Oh, Borderlands is
if not
banging tune. Yeah.
So we'll either have Borderlands or the new single On the Ropes.
On the Ropes.
To play us out. Okay. Is there anything else? Where can people find you? Where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they give you money?
Yeah. So if you go on Apollo Junction's Twitter, first of all, you'll see that's where we are mostly active.
Mm-hmm.
There's links on there to our store. We actually released a 500 limited edition vinyl of our first album, and I think we've got about 8 left. So there's like a really small amount left.
So you're saying that there's 492 hipsters in Leeds?
No, we've sold them all over. Like we've sold them literally all over.
It's like booking.com, is it, Ben, where it tells you there's only one room left, but actually it's not even sold one.
No. Our label, Shedload Records, we've numbered them all 1 to 500, and I think it's up to like number 490, whatever. But
you open a cupboard.
They'll go.
You open a cupboard at your mum's, and all these vinyl come out.
And then I'm buried in it. Get me out. But no, it's quite a nice record. It's pink. It looks pretty glamorous. And and you can find us on Spotify as well. Apollo Junction on Spotify.
Is it the hot pink from last season's Awake It, by any chance?
Do you know what it is?
Very nice.
It is.
So go with your
If you
Awake
give us a second, I can go and get it quickly and show you.
Yeah, go on.
Have a look.
Oh, that one said, right, don't look at messing back.
Get your vinyl out for the lads. Get your vinyl out for the lads.
Question is, which one of his 492 is he showing us?
Yeah.
Just ignore all that noise in the background. It was just me knocking down 348 Apollo Junction. So it's like a mirror angle thing, but so you open it up, you've got all your artwork. Thank you to blah 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 track listing. But yeah, the actual vinyl and stuff.
Oh wow, look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks
nice.
Yeah.
Looks great, eh? And it comes with like Burley Banksy
very nice.
artwork as well. And we got lyric sheets and stuff. So yeah, no, this was the best thing we could have done in lockdown to release this.
There's 8 left.
That's what I've been told. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
well, you better get in there quick then. If you're listening to
this,
still
buy some more, but these ones are numbered. These ones are like the numbered ones.
Ah, okay,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Are they all pink, or is it just the numbered ones pink?
Just the numbered ones are pink, and then the other ones are just your just the normal
standard.
Sort of. Yeah.
Rightio then, Ben. So at Apollo Junction on Twitter, and thank you very much, mate.
Hey, thanks for having me on podcast.
No worries,
Cheers for coming, mate.
Cheers, Ben. Okay. Is that just about it then? We got anything else to talk about?
No, we've got no football this week. I don't know what to do myself. What are you going to do with your Saturday?
Masturbate.
Relax into a puddle.
Well, I mean, that's just exactly the same as what I said, really, isn't it?
Just different ways of getting there.
Yeah, probably fuck all, mate. There's not a lot to do at the moment, is there?
When do we play again? Sunday?
Tuesday, then Sunday.
Blimey.
Newcastle and Leicester.
The next football is Monday.
The kids.
Top of the table clash with Wolves.
Okay. Well, I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing a sprightly Pablo Hernandez. No, he won't be playing. We're playing the day after, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
depending on whether he's going to be at first team, you might see Llorente again. He's not always quick to move him from under 23s to first team unless he's forced. So,
what about Forshaw? When are we going to see him?
The ghost of Forshaw.
Sorry, what's the Forshaw?
That man's dead.
Yeah. Are we we heard anything about him?
Yeah.
Is he even going to come back from the under-23s at any point?
Did you not see the news the other day that that's exactly why Llorente is back, because they've recycled his parts to fix him?
Okay.
He's
But
never
no,
even making an
I-
appearance, is he, for Leeds?
Genuinely.
It's a sad one,
Genuinely,
we don't hear anything.
Have you heard about Forshaw?
No, even on his
nothing.
Instagram. I follow him on Instagram, and even on there, he just posts family stuff. He never posts anything to do with any kind of training. The last I heard was that he was doing some running, but that running did not involve any footballs at his feet. So
I
he still sounds a
saw
long way off.
video footage. I saw video footage. I couldn't believe my eyes of him jogging, and I thought, oh, for sure, he's finally come back. And then, since then, nothing.
Forshaw started the
Bielsa-
1920 season strongly alongside Calvin Phillips and Matthias Clerc in central midfield. However, after 7 games, he picked up a hip injury. The injury was at first judged to be minor.
2019, that?
Right.
Yeah, 2019,
The
August
sad
8th.
part is that whilst it's funny to laugh about the ghost of Forshaw and all that stuff, is that he seems like a legit nice bloke, a legit good squad member, and would actually play a pivotal role in what we're trying to do right now, given where we've been struggling. So I really hope he makes it back, but it feels like when it's been this long, just feels like it's a retirement injury, doesn't it? That's what it feels like.
I couldn't stand him. The season before he got injured, I thought he was awful. I didn't see what he was doing. It was a game against Forest where he played a really bad back pass to Bailey Peacock-Farrell, and one of their strikers nipped in and they scored. And I just thought, well, I don't know what Forshaw does. And he started last season really, really well. And then, yeah, that's it. We've not seen him since.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or is like Bielsa just doesn't talk about him?
No, October
Nobody
20th
talked
is the
about
last
him.
time
Nobody
I
even
could
seems
find.
to ask about him.
Yeah.
A year ago, you couldn't get Bielsa to shut up.
Yeah, he loved
He'd
him,
be
didn't he?
calling impromptu press conferences and talking for an hour and a half. And these days, he's just like, he just wants to get the fuck out of there, unless he's got some prepared statement to rebut the masses of dickhead pundits. I think it's probably just the big leagues now, and there's a whole barrage of bullshit coming at him that he's probably just had bullshit overload.
Yeah. How long's Forshaw's contract, Ross?
Every Danny Mills coming out of the woodwork to say every fucking thing about it.
We signed him in 2018, so I'm assuming he'd been at the end of his deal now. 4.5 years. So he's got another year and a half before that contract's out.
Speaking of which, another thing that pissed me off this week.
We're not signing Roaring Peacock contracts.
I was listening to the Square Ball, and they were talking about, we should have a segment called "The Shit Danny Mills Says."
Yeah.
Fuck off.
That's
I love you
RIP.
guys, but fuck off. We started that segment. It's called Danny Mills Football Insider.
It's the one thing I've contributed to this podcast.
We've never stolen anything from the Square Ball,
Absolutely nothing.
apart from the format. No, I mean, yeah, it's a no-brainer of a segment, really, isn't it? They can do whatever they want. Obviously, we haven't copyrighted it, and they're
They can.
friends with lawyers.
Some of these other little podcasts can fuck off nicking our ideas.
Yeah.
They're going to do a section now called "The Shit Donny Says" and just rip you a new one every week.
Wait till they do a top 10 next week.
I rip myself a new one every week.
Wait till the Talking Shut lads do a top 10 next week. You'd be fuming.
Yeah, well, they can pick if they can pick the bones out of the shit that I say, then go for it. Fucking hell. Oh dear. Okay, well, let's wrap this one up then. So, very difficult to feel positive about 2021 so far, but I fucking tried. But these monologues, lads, they're getting harder and harder for me to write and put jokes into.
It's all
Does
right.
it feel that way for you guys as well?
It'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Is
We're
there
going
any
to
way out
smash
of
Newcastle to pieces, mate, and then you'll have loads to talk about.
Yes.
We haven't won a game
Can we
since
do
West
that?
Brom, and that was last year.
Yeah. It's been a whole year since we've scored a goal.
Yeah.
No wonder I feel like shit.
Yeah.
God, if we don't score against Newcastle...
From
We'll
open
turn it
play
in.
against Newcastle, if you can't score, you might want to just sack it off now.
Yeah.
Has it really been that long since we've scored a goal?
29th of December. It feels like October. It was only December.
I mean, that is, let's just clarify, that is only 3 weeks ago.
That's 21 days ago.
Yeah, we played a League 2 team in that time.
21 days without...
but that was our shit academy, mate. You know, Fulham under 23s will never make it unless they go out on loan to fucking Millwall. Fuck off.
21 days without a goal it's reminding me of George Graham.
Yeah.
But it can happen to the best teams. Look at Liverpool right now.
We'll just get fucking clickbait now. Leeds fans, compare Bielsa to George Graham. Exclusive.
That's getting
That's not on Leeds News now.
Isn't it?
The Roaring Peacock podcast.
Yeah, we were clickbaited last week for less scurrilous opinions. Let's see what they can come up with this week.
But I know we'll score again at St. James's Park. Okay, that's it. That's all. That's your lot. Give us a subscribe if you want to listen to more average podcasts. It's been an absolute pleasure. My name is Adonis, and you know me as @TheAdelites. If you want to give me a follow, do so. If not, don't worry about it. And @RossBell1984 is our man on the post. We say man on the post because that's his other podcast. Say goodbye, dear Ross.
See ya, and do follow me. Please follow me.
Yep. Follow Ross because he needs it.
I do.
And @Mickled_Onions, our other host, along with Ross on our under 23 youth pod. If you would like to check that out, it's got far more analysis and facts and statistics and information than I can hardly cope with.
None of that from me, by the way. That is not me in any way at all.
And you're welcome to follow me, unfollow me, block me, argue with me. It's all good.
Right. Chat shit. Go into lock your account.
Get me another Twitter ban. I'm avoiding the word cunt. It's fine.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're not on Twitter, that'll all pass you by, and you've probably got less anxiety. Okay. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Please.
Everybody wants to know
Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. You should probably give them a follow as they're more interesting than us. A very special thanks to Adam Warner, Barney Stewart Cookie, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show, and all our family and friends.
So many games to play, don't care what's on your mind.